I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been. There's no one can stop me. Lynx is a conqueror. No, I'm Alexander. He's no Alexander.
There is a moment just before Mike Tyson throws a punch where time seems to stop. His opponent knows it's coming. The crowd knows it's coming. Even the referee seems to brace. And then, boom. That's the thing about Mike Tyson. He didn't just beat fighters, he haunted them.
He leads to the right hand. There he goes. I don't think you...
He lived in their heads before the first bell ever rang. But every era has its disrespecters. The loudmouths, the showboats, the ones who looked at the most feared heavyweight in boxing history.
I want to fight, and disrupt the world because I'm the best fighter in the world. Thank you very much, Larry. Thank you.
And decided they weren't scared. They should have been scared. Welcome back to Legacy of Boxing. Today, we're counting down the most cocky, most arrogant, most foolishly brave fighters who stepped to Iron Mike and paid the ultimate price. Like and subscribe if you're new here. Let's get into it. Michael Spinks walked into that ring on June 27th, 1988, as an undefeated champion. The man had never lost a professional fight. He'd beaten Larry Holmes twice. He carried himself like a man who had nothing to fear. His promoter, Butch Lewis, was practically jumping out of his shoes at the press conference. His team was loud. They were confident. Michael Spinks smiled like a man with a plan. But there's a difference between confidence and delusion. And that night at the convention hall in Atlantic City, Michael Spinks found out which side of that line he was standing on. The moment the bell rang, Tyson was a different species. He moved inside instantly, cutting off the ring like it was second nature, because it was. Spinks tried to establish his jab, tried to create distance. It lasted all of 91 seconds. A right hand buckled Spinks. He went down. He got up. And then Tyson was on him again. Hooks, uppercuts, a relentless combination that left Spinks face down on the canvas. 91 seconds. The shortest heavyweight title fight in history at that time. All that talk, all that confidence, all that build-up, gone in under 2 minutes. Spinks never fought again. When the interviewer asked Tyson what he was thinking in the ring, he said something that tells you everything. I try to catch my opponents on the tip of the nose because I try to push the bone into the brain. That's not trash talk. That's a mission statement. And Michael Spinks heard it loud and clear in under 2 minutes. Not every story in boxing happens inside the ring. Some of them happen at 4 in the morning on a street in Harlem. Mitch Green, known as Blood, was big, loud, and had never quite gotten over his 1986 loss to Tyson. He felt he'd been robbed. He felt disrespected. And for 2 years, he let that bitterness marinate. Then one night in August of 1988, Green spotted Tyson outside a clothing store in Harlem. And instead of walking away, he walked toward him. What followed was one of the strangest chapters in Mike Tyson's career. No gloves, no referee, no ring. Just 2 heavyweight fighters settling a grudge on the sidewalk at 4 in the morning. Tyson dropped him on the street with his bare hands. Green ended up with a cut above his eye and a fractured nose. Tyson fractured his hand on Green's skull. Green later tried to sue. The case went nowhere. Some people never learn. And that's why karma always has more work to do. Tony Tubbs was one of the most talented heavyweights of his generation. 2-time world champion, slick mover, beautiful boxer. And he knew it, and made sure everyone else knew it too. When Tyson was coming up, Tubbs was dismissive. He called Tyson raw. He suggested the kid had never faced a real technical boxer. "I'm a real boxer," Tubbs said. "He's a brawler." And brawlers don't beat boxers. They sparred together. And according to those in the room, those sessions didn't go the way Tubbs expected. But it's the 1988 WBA title fight that delivers the final word. Tubbs came in overweight, underprepared, and overconfident. Tyson dissected him. Patient, precise, devastating. 2 rounds. The combination of inside pressure and accuracy made Tubbs look like he was moving in slow motion.
And Rooney, and round 2 begins. Tubbs keeping that right hand up.
The stylist who talked about beautiful boxing was watching the fight from the canvas in round 2. All that skill, all that talent, all that talk. And in the end, he ran straight into the one thing he couldn't box his way out of. Iron Mike, with something to prove. Frank Bruno was beloved. In Britain, he was a national treasure. Huge, powerful, charismatic.
Frank Bruno!
Every time he stepped into a press conference with Mike Tyson, the room erupted. And Bruno played it up. He pointed, he flexed, he made bold predictions. He genuinely believed he was going to be the man to end the Tyson era. In their first fight, in 1989, Bruno actually caught Tyson early. A big right hand that wobbled the champion. For just a moment, it looked like the script might actually happen. And then Tyson adjusted.
Mike Tyson, flush on the face of Frank Bruno, another left, and a combination.
By the 5th round, it was over. Bruno had heart. Nobody denied that. But heart isn't always enough when you're sharing a ring with the force of nature. Tyson walked through his shots and broke him down with a ferocity that silenced even the most optimistic corners of the arena. They fought again in 1996. Bruno was WBC champion by then. He came in with everything he had, 3 rounds. Tyson stopped him in 3 rounds, and the dream was over. The British public never blamed Bruno. He gave everything. But this list isn't about effort. It's about what happens when the talk exceeds the outcome. And against Mike Tyson, that gap always got closed, every single time. Larry Holmes had every reason to be confident, a genuine legend, former undisputed heavyweight champion. He'd beaten Ali, Ernie Shavers, Ken Norton, one of the greatest heavyweights who ever lived. By 1988, Holmes was 38 years old and coming out of retirement. His team said experience would be the equalizer, that Tyson had never faced a true heavyweight craftsman. Holmes himself was quiet about it, not a trash talker, but there was an arrogance of a different kind, the quiet arrogance of a man who assumed his legacy would protect him inside the ring. It didn't. Tyson was 21 years old. Holmes was 38. From the first round, it was clear this wasn't going to be the chess match Holmes had envisioned. 4 rounds. Holmes went down twice in the 4th.
Former champion. He was there running the button.
And the referee stopped it. Holmes had talked about Tyson being beatable, about experience being the great equalizer. In 4 rounds, a 21-year-old answered every single one of those claims. Holmes was gracious in defeat, always a class act. But the lesson echoed far beyond that night. In boxing, legends don't get immunity. The ring doesn't care about your resume. If there was one fighter who truly got under Mike Tyson's skin before the fight even started, it was Tyrell Biggs. Biggs was the 1984 Olympic super heavyweight gold medalist, polished, athletic, talked about as the future of the division. And when Tyson was coming up through the amateurs, Biggs had dismissed him, talked down to him, was condescending in a way that Tyson never forgot. Tyson remembered. Mike Tyson always remembered. When they finally met as professionals in 1987, Tyson didn't come simply to win. He came to make a statement. This was the most deliberately prolonged destruction on this entire list. Tyson had Biggs seriously hurt as early as round 3. He could have finished it right there. He chose not to. He kept Biggs upright. He made him suffer through 7 full rounds of systematic punishment. After the fight, Tyson was unusually candid. He admitted he could have stopped Biggs earlier. He didn't want to. He had talked bad to me when I was an amateur, Tyson said. And I wanted him to remember that. That's what disrespect costs you in this sport. It doesn't just cost you the fight. It costs you the manner in which you lose it. Karma doesn't just show up. It shows up with interest. Jose Ribalta came in with a plan. His team had identified what they thought was the formula. Tyson's opponents often froze. They let fear paralyze them. They forgot to actually fight back. Ribalta was going to fight. His whole strategy was pressure. Push Tyson backward, make it ugly, drag him into a war. It was a respectable strategy. Brave, even, in theory. The first few rounds, Ribalta actually made it interesting. He came forward, threw combinations, didn't freeze. The crowd appreciated it. There was real respect for a man willing to walk into the storm. But there's a reason you don't walk into a hurricane by choice. By the middle rounds, Tyson had found his rhythm, and Ribalta's brave strategy had become a survival exercise. Round 10. Ribalta was stopped. And in the post-fight, he said something that perfectly captured the Tyson experience. You don't understand until you're actually in there with him. You could watch every tape, study every fight, train for every scenario, and you still weren't ready for the real thing. That's not a knock on Ribalta. That's just the Mike Tyson experience. Carl Williams called himself the Truth, which was either a stroke of marketing genius or the most ironic nickname in boxing history, depending on how you look at it. Williams was a legitimate heavyweight contender. Tall, rangy, solid jab, decent movement. He had the tools. And going into their 1989 fight, he genuinely believed he could expose Tyson. "I am the truth," he kept saying. And the truth is, Tyson can be beaten. The truth is, I'm the one to do it. Williams came out in round 1 trying to move and jab. He lasted 93 seconds. A single left hook. Williams went down hard. The referee looked at him for 2 seconds and waved it off. 93 seconds. Barely longer than Spinks. Another man who talked about truth learning a different kind of truth, delivered by the most devastating left hook in heavyweight history. The truth had been told, and the message was short, sharp, and permanent. Donovan Ruddock is a fascinating chapter in the Tyson story because he's one of the few on this list who didn't go away quietly, and who genuinely had a case to make. Their first fight in 1991 was a war. Tyson stopped Ruddock in 7 rounds, but not before Ruddock had genuinely hurt him and made him work harder than expected. The stoppage was controversial. Many at ringside felt it was premature. Ruddock demanded the rematch. He trained harder than he'd ever trained and came back with a chip on his shoulder, the size of a continent. "You didn't finish me properly," Ruddock said. "You won't finish me this time either." The rematch was a legitimate war. Rounds were close. The crowd was on their feet for 12 rounds. But in the championship rounds, Tyson's combination of speed, power, and tactical discipline was just enough. Unanimous decision. Ruddock walked away with something most people on this list didn't: respect. He pushed the best heavyweight of his generation twice and gave him serious problems both times. That's not nothing. But the outcome was the same. Talk about revenge all you want. The scorecards don't care about your grudge. By August 1995, Mike Tyson had been away for 3 years. Prison, legal battles, release. The whole world was watching to see if Iron Mike was still Iron Mike. McNeely's camp saw an opportunity. It was his promoter, Vinny Vecchione, who turned the volume all the way up. He promised his fighter would charge Tyson like a human tornado. He said McNeely feared nobody. 16,000 people in the building, millions watching on pay-per-view. The biggest comeback in boxing history. McNeely came out fast, points for courage, and then Tyson landed the first real punch. McNeely went down. Got up, credit to him. Tyson knocked him down again, and then Vecchione himself jumped into the ring to stop the fight. McNeely was disqualified due to his corner's interference. 89 seconds. The human tornado had been stopped, not by the referee, not by a knockout, but by the very man who promised it would never happen. The promoter who talked the most threw in the towel himself. That is the definition of instant karma. All the hype, all the bravado, all the pre-fight guarantees. And then one man jumps into the ring to save his fighter from the exact storm he told everyone wasn't coming. Iron Mike was back, and he hadn't lost a step. Here's what all these men had in common. They underestimated what it means to step into the ring with the force of nature. Mike Tyson wasn't just a great fighter. He was a psychological weapon. Before you ever laced up your gloves, he was already in your head. And if you were the kind of person who let your mouth write checks your fists couldn't cash, he was going to collect every single time. The names on this list weren't all bad fighters. Some were talented, some were champions, some had legitimate arguments to make. But talent doesn't protect you from karma. Confidence doesn't stop a left hook. A reputation doesn't mean anything once that bell rings. Mike Tyson taught a generation of heavyweights one simple lesson. Respect the craft, respect the opponent. Because the moment you think you figured it all out, that's exactly when you get humbled. In the most brutal, most instant way possible. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button. It helps the channel more than you know. And if you're new here, welcome to Legacy of Boxing. We cover the fights, the moments, and the stories that made this sport what it is. Subscribe so you never miss a video. Drop a comment below. Which of these fighters do you think gave Tyson the toughest test? Was it Ruddock pushing him for 12 rounds, Bruno actually wobbling him in round 1, or somebody else entirely? Let me know. I read every single comment. Until next time, this is Legacy of Boxing. Peace.